Figured I'd make a video for you here. I'm installing the Vortice throttle body spacer from Vaillant, and I'm partnering that up with the Vaillant closed air intake system on a 2004 Nissan Titan with a 5.6 liter V8 in it. Now the reason that I wanted to make a video is, just like majority of stuff that you find when you buy stuff online, they send it to you and the typical line is installs in minutes. 90% of the time they're correct. However, this case, it's a little bit more tricky, and I'll tell you why. If you're partnering this up, okay, there's the throttle body spacer right there, I just put in, okay, and it's pretty straightforward. You got 4 bolts, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top. There's one actually in there. It's kind of hard to see, but there's one underneath the air intake pipe. As you can see, there is literally no room between the radiator, the fan and the radiator, and the air intake pipe. So, if you're partnering this up with the Vaillant closed air intake system, you have to take the whole box apart and unhook everything in order to get the coupler adapter back onto the throttle body once you've got the spacer installed, and then to be able to work this back onto the coupler from the other end, pretty much by stuffing it in there and trying to make some room. Now obviously once you get it in there, you're okay. So in this case, it didn't take minutes. It took probably 45 minutes in order of the fact that I had to disconnect everything for the cold air intake system. Both of the tubes connected to it, your mass airflow sensor. Actually have to take the filter off because you got to pull the pipe out in order to get it squeezed back in here. So I guess Vaillant, if you watch this for whatever reason, it doesn't take just minutes. It depends on the application. If you're putting the spacer in to something that is not running off of a cold air intake or something that has a wider pipe system on it, you're going to be just fine. The other thing with this that I figured I'd mention, as you can see, the throttle body spacer comes with new bolts. Okay, the old bolts that come out, the shorter ones, have a Allen wrench screw in the front. Now with mine, this is a 2004. It's a great shaped truck. It runs like an absolute top and has been well taken care of. Those bolts though were almost seized in, and I got the first 3 off, and the last one, of course, the one that was all the way in the bottom, stripped out when I was trying to take it out. And I was being careful. I wasn't using force. I did put some loosening grease on it to try to let it settle in a little bit, and it's still stripped. And what I ended up having to do was squeeze all the way in there with a pair of locking vice grips, get a grip on it, and use those to essentially turn the screw out without snapping it off. So again, just kind of a little walkthrough as to what to expect when installing the Vaillant throttle body spacer, partnering it in with the Vaillant cold air intake system with the actual closed box unit. And again, this is for a 2004 Nissan Titan 5.6 liter V8. Alright, thanks.